श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देवै नमो नमः। विष्णु और सदा शिव अर्चना करते तेरी। ब्रह्मा विष्णु और सदा शिव अर्चना करते तेरी। ज्ञान का प्रकाश भर दो, हम गाए महिमा तेरी। क्या कमी उसको है रहती, क्या कमी उसको है रहती। जिस पे हो दयावान तुम, गणपति मुझ दीन की विनती करो परवान तुम। गणपति मुझ दीन की विनती करो परवान तुम। दीन में तुम हो दयालु, दीन में तुम हो दयालु। दाता कृपा निधान तुम, गणपति मुझ दीन ईश गजानन मूषक वाहन भक्तों के प्रतिपाल हो, नतमस्तक हो तुम्हें पुकारे, नतमस्तक हो तुम्हें पुकारे। हो बुद्धि की खान तुम गणपति, मुझे देने की विनती करो परवान तुम। गणपति मुझ दीन की विनती करो परवान तुम। दीन में तुम हो दयालु, दीन में तुम हो दयालु। दाता कृपा निधान तुम। गणपति मुझे दीन की विनती करो परवान तुम। मूलाधार में तुम हो विराजे, करो कृपा तुम आन कर। मूलाधार में तुम हो विराजे, करो कृपा तुम आन कर। अपने गुण हम सब में भर दो, अपना बालक जान कर। महका दो मन का बगीचा, महका दो मन का बगीचा। निर्मल माँ के लाल तुम। गणपति मुझे दीन की विनती करो परवान तुम। गणपति मुझ दीन की विनती करो परवान तुम। दीन में
त्याचे नाव कोल्हापूर,
त्याचे नाव कोल्हापूर, त्याचे नाव कोल्हापूर.
अगणित खांबावरी राहिले मंदिर, उभे राहिले मंदिर,
उभे राहिले मंदिर, उभे राहिले मंदिर.
नाना देव सभोवती देवी मधोमध राही.
हो आजी माया अंबाबाई साऱ्या दुनियेची आई, आजी माया अंबाबाई साऱ्या दुनियेची आई. उभे अंबाबाई आई, उभे अंबाबाई, उभे अंबाबाई आई, उभे अंबाबाई.
तुळजापुरीची भवानी जणू मूळ आदिशक्ती, जणू मूळ आदिशक्ती, जणू मूळ आदिशक्ती. घोर आघात प्रहार तिने पचविले पोटी, तिने पचविले पोटी, तिने पचविले पोटी. स्वतःकार विभक्तांना देवी तारुणी अनेक.
हो आजी माया अंबाबाई साऱ्या दुनियेची आई, आजी माया अंबाबाई साऱ्या दुनियेची आई. उभे अंबाबाई आई, उभे अंबाबाई, उभे अंबाबाई आई, उभे अंबाबाई. हो
अमरावतीची देवता शाश्वत अमर, असे शाश्वत अमर, असे शाश्वत अमर. अंबेजोगाईत तिने मांडियले घर, तिने मांडियले घर, तिने मांडियले घर. मुंबापुरीच्या मंदिरात दान चैतन्याचे.
हो आजी माया अंबाबाई साऱ्या दुनियेची आई, आजी माया अंबाबाई साऱ्या दुनियेची आई.
जय श्री माता जी। सहज योग, द इटर्नल नॉलेज, निरंतर ज्ञान के इस ध्यान मंच में आप सभी संतों का, पुण्यात्माओं का हृदय से स्वागत है। आप सभी को हमारा हृदय पूर्वक प्रणाम स्वीकार्य हो। परम पावनी मां के चेतना सागर में सर्व सब समर्पित करते हुए आज गुरुवार की मंगल भोर में प्राकृतिक सौंदर्य में पक्षियों की चहचहाट के बीच और हम मां के सभी बच्चे गुरु पूर्णिमा, आज पूर्णिमा की शुरुआत है और मां ने हमें गुरु पद दिया है और ऐसी अनंता मां को हमारा हृदय चेतना के माध्यम से स्वयं पहचानता है। जब हम आत्मा में जागृत हो गए और जब हम मां की करुणा में सतत साधना के स्वरूप में निरंतर ध्यान की सहज स्थिति में जब हम आत्मा की पूर्णता में निखर गए तो हम भी पूर्णिमा के चांद की तरह गुरु बन गए और मां ने जो करुणा में हमें दिया और समझाया कि आप आत्मा हैं और इस आत्मा के लिए आपको कोई तपस्या नहीं करनी है, ये आपका अपना स्वरूप है। आपके लिए जो भी करना है वो परमात्मा ने कर दिया। जो कष्ट सहने थे वो अवतरण आए और उन्होंने वो कष्ट सहे और उसके बाद मानव चेतना का विकास उस स्तर तक कर दिया जहां हम परमात्मा के सत्य स्वरूप में सहज में ही निहित हो जाए। और जब हम मां की करुणा और मां के प्रेम में सामूहिक चेतना के आनंद के लिए मां के आगे हाथ फैलाते हैं तो जो भी मन की मान्यताएं हैं वो झड़ जाती हैं और हृदय का शाश्वत प्यार, आनंद, क्षमा भाव सहज में ही प्रस्फुटित होने लगता है और हम निखर जाते हैं। मां ने यही कहा कि चाहे हम कुछ भी कर ले, जब तक हम आत्मा में पूरी तरह से समर्पित नहीं होते, उस स्वरूप में जागृत नहीं होते, हम पूर्णतया संतुष्ट और समाधानी नहीं हो सकते। इस पूर्ण स्वरूप को, इस गुरु पद को पाने के लिए हमें सत्य स्वरूप में जागृत होना है। अब ये कहा जाता है कि कौन सी धारणाएं हमें अपने मन में बिठानी है, कौन सी क्रियाएं करनी। ये कुंडलनी मां है ना, ये बताएंगी हाथों में, हमारे चक्रों पे, हमारे अंतस में, हमारे हर श्वास को, हमारी चेतना को पूरी तरह से अपनी परम चेतना से ये इसको कंट्रोल करेगी। तो हमें वही करना है जो हमारी कुंडलिनी मां बताती। और ये कहा जाता है कौन से मंत्र लेने हैं, इसके लिए क्या बोलना है। श्री माता जी जब बोलते हैं तो ये कहा जाता है कि वो महामंत्र है। मां का जो वाणी है, मां की जो वाणी के माध्यम से शक्ति है, वो पर ब्रह्म की शक्ति है। तब हमारे रोम रोम में से परमात्मा की शक्तियां स्वयं जागृत हो जाती है। तो मां का कोई भी मंत्र लें, जब हमारी कुंडलिनी जागृत है तो वो कार्य करता है। बस मां को हृदय में बैठाएं और मां की शक्ति को सहस्त्रार में सदैव महसूस करते रहें और इस आनंद में अपने आप को भी पहचाने और इस आनंद के माध्यम से पूरे विश्व को भी इस सत्य से अवगत कराएं। आइए आज सामूहिक ध्यान से इस गुरु पद के अनंत आशीर्वाद में मां की शरणागति में फलित हूं। जय श्री माता जी। तो सर्वप्रथम हम मां की ही शरणागति में, मां के स्वरूप में, मां की चरणों की छत्र छाया में समर्पित होकर पहले कुंडलिनी को बांधेंगे, बंधन लेंगे और तत्पश्चात 3 महामंत्र और फिर श्री गणेश मंत्र। जय श्री माता जी।
त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महामाया
श्री माता जी। और अब हम चेतना में जागृत स्वरूप में अपनी मां को निहारेंगे। मां को जब देख लिया तो सब बदल गया। रोम रोम आनंद से भर गया। और इस आनंद में मां को हृदय में बैठाएंगे, मां का हृदय में स्वागत करेंगे। हृदय भाव मां के श्री चरणों में। हे परम पावनी मां, हे परम करुणामयी मां, हम बच्चों की हृदय की यही विनम्र प्रार्थना मां आपके पावन शुभ श्री चरण कमल सदैव हमारे हृदय में विराजमान रहे। आपकी परम शरणागति में सत्य स्वरूप आत्मा में हम जागृत हों और अपने सत्य स्वरूप में सहज में ही आपके श्री चरणों में परम श्रद्धा में समर्पण को प्राप्त हो। और इस प्रेम की एकाकारिता में हम आपकी महिमा का गुणगान सदैव अनन्य भक्ति के रस से गाते रहे। और आपकी करुणामयी प्रेममयी चैतन्य लहरियां पूरे ब्रह्मांड को चेतित करें, आनंद से भर दें। जो भी सत्य साधक है, जो भी परमात्मा को खोज रहे हैं, उनको ये आशीर्वादित करें, वो आपको पहचाने। पूरा ब्रह्मांड एक हो, पूरे ब्रह्मांड में आनंद ही आनंद, शांति ही शांति। ऐसे कृपा करें मां हम पर। क्षमाता जी, हमारा अनंत कोटि प्रणाम मां, अनंत कोटि प्रणाम। जाने अनजाने हमसे जो भी गलतियां हुई मां, कृपा करके उन सब के लिए हमें क्षमा करें। उन्हें भी क्षमा करें मां, जिन्होंने हमारा दिल दुखी किया हो। हे गुरु मौली मां, आपकी करुणा में आज हम सामूहिक ध्यान के माध्यम से आत्म स्वरूप में पूर्ण रूपेण जागृत, आपकी शरणागति में, आपके सानिध्य में गुरु पद की सहज अवस्था का आनंद लेना चाहते हैं मां। हे करुणामयी मां, कृपा करके हमें गुरु पद दे और हमें गुरु पद के अलंकारों से विभूषित करके आशीर्वादित करें मां। श्री माता जी, आज के ध्यान की कृपा करके हमें अनुमति प्रदान कर हमारा मार्ग भी प्रशस्त करें मां। जय श्री माता जी। और अब हम पूर्ण रूपेण कुंडलिनी मां पे सब कुछ छोड़ देंगे। हमारे खुले हाथ और शरीर एक मंद्रनुमा चेतना का स्वरूप बनता हुआ और सहस्त्रार की तरफ अनायास ये चेतना हमें आनंद से भरती हुई रोम रोम परम चैतन्य के आनंद से निखरता हुआ, खिलता हुआ उंगलियों में, हथेलियों में हर अगला क्षण एक नए आनंद को अभिव्यक्त करता हुआ और सहज में ही निर्विचारिता हमारे भाव को अभाव की स्थिति में समर्पित करती हुई अब हम इस स्थिति में कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे। हाँ, हो रहा है उसको सजग साक्षी स्वरूप में हम देखते जा रहे हैं। विशुद्धि चक्र पे थोड़ा सा खिंचाव, बहुत मामूली सा, तो हम शरीर से परे, मन से परे जब हम विशुद्ध चेतना में जागृत होते हैं तो ये खिंचाव थोड़ी देर के लिए आएगा और हम पूरी तरह से इस खिंचाव से निर्लिप्त रहेंगे। हम मां की करुणा में अलिप्त हैं, निर्लिप्त हैं। हम केवल साक्षी हैं। हल्का सा भार बाएं स्वादिष्ठान पे। कुंडलनी ही सर्वोपरि है। कुंडलनी के अनुरूप अपने चित्त को समाहित होने देना, वही समाधान है। तो इच्छाओं का त्याग कर केवल परम की आनंद स्थिति में समाहित होना, वही इसका समाधान है। हम और एक गहन शांत अवस्था में हैं। सहज में ही स्थापित होते हुए बाएं स्वादिष्ठान के लिए हम एक बार चित्त हृदय में लेकर के मां के श्री चरणों में सत्य को दोहराएंगे। हे परमानंद स्वरूपा मां, आपकी करुणा में हम केवल आत्मा है, अतः हम इच्छाओं से मुक्त हैं। माता जी, हम इच्छाओं से मुक्त हैं। हमारी एक इच्छा परम से एक होने की, यही हमारा स्वरूप है मां, यही हमारा सत्य है। मंत्र ले लेते हैं। श्री निर्मल विद्या साक्षात। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात श्री निर्मल विद्या साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देवै नमो नमः। अब जो हमने बोला उसको फलित होने देंगे। निर्मल विद्या ही सर्वोपरि है। आत्मा ही सर्वोपरि है। चेतना ही सर्वोपरि है। बाकी सब मिथ्या। दुख सुख, जन्म मरण, रिश्ते नाते, शरीर चक्र नाड़ियां, सब मिथ्या। केवल एक ही सच है, आनंद, आत्मा। अब हमारे हाथों में, हमारे रोम रोम में निर्मल विद्या का स्वरूप निखरने लगा। हम और गहरे शांत हो गए। और अब निर्विचारिता, धीरे धीरे अपनी पूर्णता की ओर बढ़ने लगी। और ये चेतना ही पूरे ब्रह्मांड में व्याप्त होने लगी। अब हम समाधिस्थ होने लग गए। और विचार अचेतन में लुप्त होते हुए अब हम विशुद्ध आनंद की स्थिति में आ गए। और यहीं से हमारा ध्यान शुरू होता है। यही पूर्ण समाधान है। आत्मन्यवात न तुष्टा। आत्मा की तृप्ति, आत्मा की शांति केवल आत्मा में ही है। ऐसे लगता है कि इस आनंद अवस्था में बैठे रहे। होने के बाद ही पता चलता है होने का मायने क्या है। मां की करुणा में हम भी सब हो गए। आनंद स्वरूप, चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम। आइए आज इस आनंद की दिव्य अवस्था में मां के अनमोल वचनों को आत्मसात करते हुए ध्यान के आनंद की गहनता को हृदय में और महसूस करें। जय श्री माता जी।
Yesterday I told you how self is more important than anything else at the present state of human awareness. When you are at the human awareness, first thing that should happen to you is to feel yourself. As Sri Krishna has said, Atmane Atmane Tushtaha. Unless and until you reach your Atma, your spirit, you are not going to get the satisfaction of achieving anything. Because Kundalini, which you see here, seated in the triangular bone, which we call as the sacrum, that means Greek knew about it. Greek knew about the sacrum bone. Otherwise they would not have called it a sacrum, means sacred. Even when I went to Athens, I was surprised that Athena, the word Atha, comes from Sanskrit, means primordial. And she had a snake-like thing in her hand with all the chakras. So the Greeks knew about it. And when I talked to them, they told me that it is a fact that Indians came much before Alexander. We had rapport with Indians much before Alexander. And they told us about the primordial mother and her 3 powers. It is very amazing how they knew all about it. And then it all got lost because of the extroversion moving out from reality. So this bone, sacrum bone, contains, or here resides the Kundalini in 3.5 coil. This is the power of our pure desire. The pure desire is the desire when it is manifested should give you full satisfaction. For example, some people seek it in power. They indulge in power, some seek it in possession, some seek it in other things. But all these seekings do not give them satisfaction. If they could give satisfaction, then there would have been no problem. Because once you buy a car, then you want to buy something else, and then you want to buy something else. You start moving from one to another, and as economics says that in particular a want is satiable, but not in general. So we have to understand that the wants that we have, the desires we have, are not pure desires, but are impure desires. And when we deal with them, we never get that satisfaction. For example, somebody wants to do something. He does it, but he doesn't get any satisfaction out of it. The only way you can get satisfaction is that you become one with the divine. And this power of desire, which is a pure desire, is residing in each and everybody's triangular bone. But we are lost. We are seeking our pleasures, our joys into wrong things. We think that by doing this or by doing that, by buying this or becoming that, we'll be completely, fully satisfied, which we ultimately discover. In an evolutionary state, such people, when they discover that the joy is not in all these things, there is no happiness in this kind of thing. We have to go beyond this. Once they discover this, then they become a special category of people. And these special category of people are the seekers. Of course, today I find so many seekers are lost. Especially in America, they are lost in various ways. We would say in all the cults or in all other things like drugs or homosexuality or whatever you may call it. They are lost into these, into violence. Many are indulging into violence or doing all kinds of things which are not for their ascent but are degrading and will take them down, not to their seeking but to their hell. But it is happening today. You can see it very clearly. It is happening because human beings do not understand that human awareness is a transitory phase. You have to go beyond it. And that beyond stage, the stage we have to reach, is the stage of yourself, to begin with. You have to become, first of all, self-realized, meaning you are to be born again. And to be born again, you have to allow the Kundalini to work it out. So, what do we do? As people said, I told you yesterday, it is effortless, it is without any money. It just happens spontaneously. Now it happens that an enlightened light can enlighten another light. In the same way, I may be able to enlighten you, but you can enlighten many others. Like in India, we have someone who has enlightened 10,000 people and has done so much good to people that it is amazing. Even there are people like the President of India, we can say the President of the High Court, Judge of the Hague High Court, which is the World High Court, the President of that, he's got his realization and he's a Sahaja. So we have people of that caliber who are Sahajogis and who have felt the vibrations, who have become self-realized. But they are very humble people, extremely humble people. Indians are basically humble and they know who is a saint and who is not a saint. They are so sensitive that they know who is a saint, who is not a saint. But in the West, as we have now lost our power to feel the saintliness in a person, we do not know who is a saint, who is not a saint. So the first thing that has to happen to you to understand who is a saint, who is not a saint, is first to get your realization. Without the spirit expressing itself into your awareness, into your attention, you cannot make out who is a saint or who is not a saint. Like they crucified Christ for no reason at all, and they worshipped Hitler. The Jews, they refused to accept Christ. They refused. They said, no, we don't accept Christ, because Christ said that I am dying for your sins. They said, no, we don't believe in that, we must suffer. So they suffered. They had sufferings. If you ask for suffering, you will have sufferings. But if they had accepted Christ, at least one thing would have happened, they would not have suffered. They asked for sufferings. They thought, unless and until we suffer, we cannot go to God. This was a very wrong idea, because Christ himself was a Jew. Himself, he took birth among the Jews. And it was the Jews he came to save. But they are the ones who refused to accept him, because they were blinded. They didn't want to see the point. In the same way, it has happened in every century. Any time any incarnation came, people did not want to accept. Not in India. I would say Indians are much more sensitive to spirituality because they are not so materialistic. They understand, because we have been for ages seeking and seeking from traditionally. So we know what this seeking is, what it means. For me, it's not difficult to talk to them about Kundalini. There I start on a different level altogether, because they know everything, whatever I'm talking, they know already what it is. Maybe not in the cities where the people are westernized, but they know. But for other people, I have to start it from A to Z. So this is the Kundalini we have got in 3.5 coils, and it has a mathematical calculation. Now, it's only Indians and the Buddhists, from Indians, I would say, believe in the non-being. They believe there's a non-being, being and non-being. What is that state of non-being? When you become the non-being, means when you go beyond your conditioning and ego, then you become the non-being. And once you become the non-being, then nothing can touch you. As I told you yesterday, who are standing in the water have fear of getting drowned in the water. But if you go to the boat, then you start seeing that the water is down below, it is not going to touch you. That state has to be achieved, is a non-being, is the fourth dimension within us. This is called also in Sanskrit as Turiya Dasha. Now you might say, why in India these people discovered all that? See now, the reason is India is a very ancient country. And there we didn't have these problems that you had to face when you came to America. You had to face the nature to begin with. Our nature is very kind. We can live under a tree, eat the fruits of the forest, and can enjoy ourselves. We don't need much in that country to cover ourselves or to have any elaboration. So the attention has been always inside to find out, why are we here? What are we doing here? Are we wasting our life? Are we doing any harm to ourselves or to others? Is it all right to exist as human beings, or is there anything beyond? This search has been there for thousands and thousands of years, and because of this seeking, they have been able to reach right conclusions that there is this Kundalini within us, and this Kundalini is to be awakened, and if she is awakened, then you can become self very easily. And this was the job I had to do. For that, I had to work very hard for days together to understand what was the problem with human beings, the permutations and combinations of problems that they have. And somehow I managed it. I think now mass realization is possible. Yesterday, despite some people being mischievous, you did get realization. This is God's work, and God's work will go on. Whether some people come and trouble you makes no difference. They are just like mosquitoes. They come and go away. Has no meaning at all. Because you see, God's work is much greater than what they think of themselves. So it doesn't matter what happens or what people say or talk. The God's work will go on. But you must know it's a living work. It is not a plastic thing. You can produce thousands of plastic flowers very easily, but you cannot produce one single living flower. So when this living force has to act, it takes time. And it will take time, gradually it will grow, and you will be surprised that gradually it grows so beautifully that suddenly you find lots of people coming up and becoming. Because in Sahaja Yoga, what you become is important. It's the actualization. It is not some certificate or some organization that you belong to some organization or there is some certificate. But it is what you become. Your becoming is important. If you cannot become something, then you are no good in Sahaja Yoga. Many people who come to us, we find they improve a lot and they become very great also. But some people do not. They just waste it. Energy is all wasted. Whatever you may try, they do not. Sometimes they are so conditioned that we cannot improve them. There we feel helpless about them because they do not want to cooperate also. And also they have many pressures on them. But 90% people go up very well and they manifest whatever they have achieved. Now the main thing is to understand that this mechanism exists within us. This energy exists within us. Now this is like a hypothesis for you. We need not accept it. It's an hypothesis, as one would put to a scientist. But scientists must have an open mind. They shouldn't have a closed mind. If they have a barrier, you cannot put anything before them. If they are scientists, they will have an open mind to listen to my hypothesis. And if it could be proved, then you have to accept it. If it doesn't prove, then you can say that, all right, that's not proved so far, all right. So you have to wait and have patience with it. This is what it is in simple words, that it cannot be forced on you. It cannot be humble before. You have to ask for it. Nobody can force you that you can become. I cannot guarantee. Yesterday I said, it's a fact. But still so many people got their realization, felt the cool breeze and felt the cool breeze out of their head. This you cannot do otherwise. All other things you can do, but this you cannot do, is to take out cool breeze out of your head, which is a factual thing and experience. But as I told you, that we live mentally much more than we live with reality. And mental projections can be anything, like a person who murders someone. He has a justification, I murdered someone because of this and this. But that justification does not allow you to get out of law, does it? No. You will be caught in the law. You cannot do it. Whatever is wrong, you are not supposed to do it. But that is human law. In the same way there is God's laws. And if we go against God's laws, then what happens? That we are punished. Now today I am going to tell you about other awareness that one can have, that one should know about. I am talking about the super consciousness which is on top of our head. But when the attention moves to the left side too much or to the right side too much, then also there could be a very, very big problem. And the big problem can come because we are not knowledgeable about it. We do not know. What is unknown need not be divine, not at all. Now when you start, say, becoming extremely submissive, slavish, or you start following something very blindly, you start becoming fanatic about it, just without thinking what you are doing is not right or wrong. You just follow something like that. We call it the left side movement of the attention starts, where you start subduing yourself to something, subjecting yourself to something. Accept the slavery of some ideas. Accept the conditioning of some sort of theories. Now once you start accepting such theories, mentally the attention starts moving towards the left side. And also some people have a capacity to possess you like that. They can possess you and can do like that, that you lose all your freedom and you become that kind of a person. Then at that time what happens, that you start moving from your conscious mind to the subconscious mind and then to the collective subconscious. If you move to the collective subconscious, then what happens to you? If you move to the collective subconscious, then a person becomes possessed. This possession comes to you through what we call the protein 52 or protein 58 in medical terminology. They say that if a person is vulnerable to cancer, it is triggered by the presence or entrance of protein 52 or protein 58. These are the names the doctors are given, which trigger the disease. And once that happens, then a person cannot get out of cancer, because then the triggering starts and he starts getting from bad to worse. This 52 and 58, where do you find it? According to doctors, you find 52 and 58 in the area which is built within us since our creation. This area is placed within us. On the left hand side, as you see, somebody can come at you. On the left hand side, this area is placed. And this area, one enters very easily. Say you go on taking somebody's name. Nowadays it's a fashion to give you a mantra. Now start getting the mantras, going saying mantras. Now what happens? That you are not connected with the divine. And you start taking the name of some XYZ. So you are not connected and you are just pressing hard your mind to get connected, but it cannot, because the Kundalini has not arisen. So you move to the left side and there you get caught up. And that's why you know in the cult people are so much mesmerized. In every cult people get mesmerized because they move to the left for the domination of these gurus and things, because they want to make money out of them, and then they cannot think of anything else. They just think this is the right thing. I was amazed at some of the cults. The gurus don't know even Sanskrit language. Some of them have come out of the jail and they have become gurus. And they have given mantras which are so funny that somebody has been given mantra of Inga. There's no word like Inga except for this word in a colloquial way is called Inga, where a spider or something, you can say a scorpion, has got the sting, that is called as Inga. And this scorpion, when this scorpion hits it to a person, is called as the Inga, means that biting. Now that's the mantra given to many people. I was shocked, and it was told not to tell anyone about it. So if you tell to anyone, he'll just start laughing and roaring with laughter. Another mantra I heard was Tinga, meaning when you show somebody like this is Tinga, in colloquial word, not in Sanskrit language. There is nothing like a Jir and Ing in Sanskrit language. It has no meaning. And everything is meaningful in Sanskrit. Even every syllable is meaningful. So such people have come over and have become great gurus, and they give you names, maybe the names of some proteins which exist and which enter into you, and you get possessed. So this left side movement is a very common thing, and once you get to this left side movement, you cannot get out of it. It's very difficult. So the people who have been to such people or to such enticement show immediately when they come to us for realization, and that we don't know how to deal with them. Because if you tell them you forget your guru, they don't like it. They go on contortions, their bodies start getting into contortions. They feel terrible, they cannot sit quiet, they cannot move out. But if you tell them that this was wrong, they don't want to accept, because they are still carrying on with that idea, and they don't want to believe that whatever they were carrying on was wrong, that they have to ascend. Even when they ascend, they take time. This is one very big problem we face. But as a result of the left side movement, you get most of the incurable diseases. For example, your AIDS disease that has come is because of the combination of the left side Muladhara center and heart. That's the one. Of course, it has to have Swadhisthana with it, left Swadhisthana is due to that. If somebody could cure these three centers of that person can be cured. Sclerosis comes from the same. If somebody is suffering from multiple sclerosis, same problem. It comes Muladhara chakra, void, and also sometimes the right heart. Sclerosis. Most of the muscular troubles go like that. Then we have got cancer. Cancer could be due to any chakra which is on the left hand side. Must be the combination of two chakras on the left hand side, depending on where the trouble is. But when the cancer trouble comes into the center, then it starts ascending, then it starts moving, and you get galloping cancer. You can start going from one to another end, and it can finish off a person. That's how you can just be finished with the galloping cancer. Now when somebody is vulnerable, like I would say a person who is a very, very active person, who is very much under shock all the time, is very, very active and hectic. Supposing he is getting up in the morning, reading newspaper, and getting up into his bath, and then getting ready somehow or other, and getting into his car, and then going out, and in a very hectic manner he lives under shock because he's reading horrible news, then he's seeing a big jam on the street, all these things are happening. He's so full of anxieties. Such a person is vulnerable to another thing called blood cancer. But for that also, the left arm, this side, is attacked. If left navi is attacked under these circumstances, such a person can get blood cancer. Supposing a mother is like that, she's a very hectic person and she's trying to sort of do many things at the same time, and she's of that nature, then also the child can pick up from her. If a mother is a very extreme type of a person or has gone through shocks like that, I've seen people who have gone through wars and have come out of problems, their children also are very prone to troubles of the brain, and they also get it because of the left side movement. But as you go upward, as the chakras come upward on the left hand side, say the left agya is caught up and left swadhisthana is caught up, that means a person is completely possessed. But with that, if the heart chakra is caught up, or with that, if the Vishuddhi chakra is caught up, then one can become mad. And such people could be there. But they come mad, they become alright, then become mad. Like that they go on, ultimately they end up as mad people. But in SahajaYoga, one can cure people who are mad, but they have to be treated in a way. Normally we do not take up any person who is a mad person in our group, because it's very difficult to cure them and better them. But if they want to work it out on themselves, we say, all right, work it out this way, try if you can be all right. But there are many in-between phrases, like schizophrenic, you can call it, or some people who are imbalanced, who are nervous, all kinds of things are in between. So absolute mad, even if you forget, but there are so many others who look sane, but inside they have problems. All such people can be cured with SahajaYoga if they act according to what we tell them and the way it is to be worked out. Now in SahajaYoga, the practices are extremely simple. Because it's question of balance. The left side catches, if the left side catches, then you get all these problems. But if you can balance it, if you can balance left side with the right side, the troubles can be all right. For example, if you have got, say, a left side problem, and you do some right side activity of ego development, you'll be amazed that your cancer can be cured. But then you go to the right side. That means you become ego-oriented, you become extremely ambitious, you become futuristic, you start dominating others. And this is what was practiced by Hitler. He got this knowledge from Dalai Lama. He said it in his book that he got it from Dalai Lama, how to control the minds of the people, by which you dominate them, and by domination, what do you make out of them? Devils. And that's why he did it. Because they become so ambitious, they become racist to begin with. They become racist. They think they are the best, they are the highest, they have the right to kill anybody they feel like, they have a right to take revenge, they have a right to ill-treat people. All kinds of funny ideas come into their heads, these right-sided people. And when they come into the right side, they do not know what they are up to. Because once they develop the right side, then they have other troubles, like they might develop blood pressure, they might develop kidney troubles, they might develop heart trouble. Heart in the sense, not angina and all that of a lethargic heart, but overactive heart. They can get a sudden massive heart attack and they may die with it. So such people are also suffering from all kinds of liver trouble, like cirrhosis of the liver, other liver troubles, skin problems. All these come from the right side movement. So when you start moving to the right side too much, you can be possessed by people who are overactive. Like an ego-oriented person, if he becomes friendly with another egoistical person, both of them combine together in such a manner that they form a group of egoistical nature. When they become egoistical, they try to dominate. And a big group can form a frantic, horrible, violent group which can try to kill. In India we had one such group which was formed under the name of the goddess. They started it in India, called as Anand Mark. Of course it is now banned. The fellow is under supervision, but still in America he has followers. Surprisingly, they were caught killing some ambassadors and all that, and the leader had to go in the jail for days together. Everything happened, but the followers, because they are so possessed with the idea that they are in charge and they have to kill everyone and that they have to become like Hitler. Now you cannot stop it. It's very difficult, but you can. If you can raise their kundalini, then they will understand this is not reality. We are just doing something that is not reality. It is not for our beneficiary or not neither for anybody else. It is such a dangerous thing we are doing to ourselves. It's not at all benevolent to ourselves or to anybody else. So the benevolence only comes when you move upward. The third, we can say, is the awareness of hell, where people are really devilish by nature. You cannot change them. They are very devil-like, very possessive type, extremely arrogant, aggressive, and they are really devils incarnate in human forms. And such people have to go to hell, because we call them as the awareness of the hell. They always think of destruction, of destroying others, or overpowering others, or of destroying themselves. There are many groups you know who destroyed themselves. Just like that, they killed themselves. These are all the people who are on the other side of the ascent. So when you start rising higher and higher into these chakras, and when the Kundalini rises through all these chakras and goes up beyond the Sahasrara, as you call it, the Brahmarandra here, you become a subtler being. Like your human attention, say, we can say, it's like a cloth here. And now the Kundalini is pushing it upward like that. So all your attention which is outside goes inside. And when it pierces through, from here, this piercing makes the attention subtle, because the subtle that is around, which you do not feel normally, starts penetrating into it. It starts covering your attention. And that's how we say, now your attention is enlightened. And now it is enlightened, not just talk, but it becomes enlightened with collective consciousness. You become collective conscious. Then such people, when they talk, they have such a personality, such a knowledge. They become knowledge. They have no problems. They become knowledge because they become the absolute. But it is for you to decide, what are you seeking in life? What do you want in life? What is your life worth? If you want to cheapen your life, waste it for something very cheap and ordinary, useless, then you can go ahead with it. But if you think your life is important as a human being, should be, because you have become from amoeba to this stage as a human being, not to waste it, not to throw it away uselessly, but to become the spirit. That's what you have come on this earth for, and that's what should happen to you. Now, the main problem with human beings is that there are barriers we have. To accept anything we have barriers, but there is nothing to be accepted. In SahajaYoga you need not accept anything whatsoever, but you should not also deny. If you deny, I cannot raise your kundalini. I cannot. You should allow your mind to be open to get realized. Because one reason is there why you have to do that more. Because you do not know about kundalini. People told me they don't know even what self-realization is. Imagine, in India, when my grandchild was born, we had our astrologer in my husband's place, about 2,000 miles away from where the child was born. He sent a telegram saying that this child has found her guru, Sadguru in the household. It was such a great thing to find a Sadguru who will give realization to the child. To us it is the most important thing. In a horoscope, the first thing they'll ask, shall we get self-realization in this lifetime or not? Then they say, all right, this lifetime you might. Maybe next lifetime. Then they think, oh God, we have to wait one lifetime more. And all action is surrounding that. The whole behavior, that you must try to check your attention. Chitta nirodha. Try to check your attention. Wherever it wants to go, just keep it out. While here it is, what's wrong? So what? If you want to jump in the sea, so what? Who are you to tell us? It's not that. There it is, you must control your attention. Control your attention. Keep the attention pure. If your attention is not pure at the time of realization, there will be a problem. It's just a different attitude towards life. If somebody is angry, here people always say, I hate you. I mean, in India, if a child says like that, he'll have 2 slaps on the face. It's regarded bad manners to even to think like that, that you hate anyone. To hate anyone is a sign of degraded personality. I mean, it's very common with Indian people. Whatever you know of Indians are the people who are uprooted, who have come here to make dollars. They are different people. They are sort of sieved out. But the people who are in India, now we have here at least 20% people who have been to India. You can ask them. To them, generosity is a quality. Righteousness is a quality. Purity is a quality. Quietude is a quality. Peaceful nature is a quality. They do not boast of their angers and they do not boast of their hatred at all. I mean, it is never done. Even if somebody hates, he will not say that, I hate you. And it took some time for me to even to say this sentence to people, that this is something prohibited. Because your tongue gets spoiled. If your tongue is spoiled and impure, then whatever you say becomes untrue. Your tongue must be pure. You should not say something which is not true. In the sense, true doesn't mean that supposing somebody is a person who to your mind is not a good person. You shouldn't say that. You need not say that you are not a good person. You just keep quiet. Let him discover. Because if he is bad, he'll suffer himself. This is a common attitude. I'm not talking for Indians, but I must say for spiritual life, one has to learn from them. Some of them who were thugs must have come here to loot you. That's a different point. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry. But I also blame you for your naiveness. I came much before that. But I said you are not to pay to anyone any money. Nobody listened to me. They didn't like me at all when I said that. So you You had to suffer. I know it was wrong, but it happened. Now at least people should realize that purity can only be achieved through self-realization. Innocence can be awakened within you on the first chakra. On the first chakra, you develop innocence. In the second chakra, you develop creativity. I've known people who never used to sing, have started singing very well, who never used to create anything, have started creating beautiful paintings. They have become great painters now, very well-known painters. Musicians, those who were never doing architecture have become great architects, and who have never done any interior decoration have achieved a lot. So, to say that we are very creative, one must know that you have limited energy. And for that you have to be connected to the main, so that all the time the energy is flowing into you. Then on top of that is the third center, which is the center of your seeking. So whatever you were seeking was not all right. But you do get your material well-being, no doubt. You do get your material well-being, but up to a point where you feel absolutely satisfied about it, you don't need anything anymore. You also get a great blessing of dignity and divinity. You get a proper understanding of your being. You become like a king. For a king, what we call the emperor, he doesn't need it. For example, as you know, I'm born of a very rich family, and it's a royal family, and my husband also is a very rich man. It's all right. We live in a very great comfort, no doubt. But I can sleep anywhere. I can sleep on the street, I can live anywhere. I'm not bothered where I live, what I do, how I move. I have no problem. Because if you are the emperor, you don't ask for anything, do you? If you get the food, all right. If you don't get, all right. If you like some food or don't like food, somebody says, I don't know what I eat in the morning, I don't know what I'm going to eat now. I don't know if I had my lunch or not. If I've had, all right, otherwise you can do what you like. It's that simple. Your body becomes your slave. You can lie down anywhere you feel like, you can do any amount of traveling, you can do 1,001 things. You become so dynamic. That happens when your Lakshmi Tattva is a reason. There are 4 Lakshmi Tattvas within us. The first is the Lakshmi Tattva, where you become a person very dignified and endowed with material comforts. But comfort which kills you is not there. Comfort means you are materially no more bothered. You get jobs. In London we have so many jobless people. But in SahajaYoga, all those who are there, all of them have got jobs. All of them. It's difficult to find one person who hasn't got the job. Moreover, it is compulsory in SahajaYoga that those who stay in the ashram must have some jobs. We have tried to allow some people to come without that, but we had very bad experiences of such people. So all those who are living on dole or some sort of a thing, we don't allow them to come in the ashram. And you'll be surprised that as soon as they join SahajaYoga, they get jobs. And they get better and better jobs. Because Krishna has said, Yoga Kshema Vahamyaham. When you get your yoga, your well-being will be looked after. He didn't say Kshema Yoga. He didn't say, I look after your well-being and then you go to yoga. No, first yoga. Yoga Kshema Vahamyam. First you get the yoga and then the Kshema will work. That's what happens to you on the Nabhi Chakra, which is very important. But Rajalakshmi, that is you become like a king, that you become Grahalakshmi or Grahastha, means you become a householder. You become a good wife and a good husband. You develop proper feelings for each other and you develop proper feelings for your children. You improve your societies through that essence, if it is born in you, that you understand the importance of a good family life. And that automatically happens. You don't have to tell anybody. Just those people who hated each other after coming to SahajaYoga have started loving each other, understanding and enjoying each other. And married life in SahajaYoga is tremendous. 90% of married life is so great that people in America, where they divorce every third year, we have seen people are doing very well in the married life, even in America. Even even here, you see this mental projection, the wife is no good and husband no good, all vanishes. You become the spirit. You start enjoying the deeper significance of marriage. Then comes the fourth side of the Lakshmi Tattva, is the ascending side. The people who have got more money are fed up and now want to have something beyond. In the same way, in Sahaja Yoga, when you start moving, then you find that nothing but spiritual life gives you real joy. So you just don't care for anything else but the spiritual life. And what is the spiritual life of Sahaja Yoga is that you become the light and you give light to others. Selflessly. There is no selfish motive in it. Just because you are the light, you become the light. You don't see the light, you become the light and you give light to others. And just do it selflessly, without charging any money, without asking for anything. You just start giving what you have got, spontaneously, without paying for it. You just do it in a way that is a saintly way. Saints always spend their own money, always have spent their own money to give joy to others. They have never taken money from anyone. I mean, I have not heard of any saint who has built up big palaces and big places and big organizations. Never. That's not a sign of a saint. A saint just emits compassion. And this compassion doesn't speak, it is silent. This compassion acts. It doesn't speak, it acts. When it acts, it works out wonders. That's what you know when Christ was touched by some lady. He said, some energy has flown through me. That is what it is. That the energy starts flowing through you and you do not do anything. It just happens automatically. Without doing anything, you achieve it. So for today, I think I have come up to the Nabhi Chakra. Tomorrow I'll tell you about other chakras in better elaborate way, that you will understand what is the essence of these chakras, that what becomes of you. They have described to you the chakras, but why these chakras? What do they mean? These are the different evolutionary milestones within us which have been crossed, and the last one is this one which you have to cross now, that's all. See, you are just ready for it. You are made for this. God has made you for this. Its best is that you get to it. And that's why I was yesterday asking questions, and people have now told me, Mother, don't ask questions because it's a waste. It's a waste of time. Those people who are asking questions are not asking any sensible questions. They are not bothered about themselves, but how they are spending their lives. Of course, some people asked very sensible questions also, I must say. But there's no need to ask questions. Let us see if it works out within you. If it works out, will be a good idea. Now, you want to have realization? First,
जय श्रीमत जी। आइए कुछ देर निशब्द ध्यान का आनंद लें। जय श्रीमती जी। 3 महामंत्र।
त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
जय श्रीमती जी। सामूहिक बंधन। जय श्रीमती जी। आज के माँ के इस प्रवचन के जो माँ का रेफरेंस है वो amrita.org पे, और 1985-0604 इसका नंबर है। 4th of June 1985, और इसका टाइटल है अनलेस एंड अनटिल you reach your spirit, you are not going to get that satisfaction of achieving anything. स्कूल फॉर द ह्यूमैनिटीज, न्यूयॉर्क सिटी, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में श्रीमाता जी ने ये कुंडलिनी जागृति के बारे में बताया, सत्य के बारे में बताया, और बताया कि माँ अमेरिका में पहले आए और कुगुरुओं के बारे में आगाह किया, लेकिन लोग नहीं माने। और तभी ये जो कुगुरु हैं, जो भारत से आकर के वहां विदेशों में डॉलर कमा रहे हैं, इन्होंने कैसे लोगों को चीट किया। और माँ ने सत्य के बारे में बताया, कैसे आप इस सत्य को अपने अंदर पहचान सकते हैं और कैसे इसको आसानी से पा सकते हैं। जो भी अवतरण आए, उन्होंने आपके लिए सब कुछ किया हुआ है, आपको सिर्फ इस सत्य को महसूस करना है, अपने हृदय में इसको धारण करना है। आइए माँ का हृदय में धन्यवाद करें। हे परमानंद माँ, आज के सामूहिक ध्यान के आनंद के लिए, आपके दिव्य प्रवचन के माध्यम से हमारी चेतना के विकास के लिए, हम सभी बच्चों को एक साथ सामूहिक ध्यान के, सामूहिक चेतना के अनंत आशीर्वाद के लिए हम हृदय से आपके आभारी हैं माँ, सदैव ऋणी हैं। हमारा तन मन धन सब आपके श्री चरणों में समर्पित हो। आपका ये दिव्य कार्य पूरे विश्व में फैले, सब सहयोगी चेतना के उच्च स्तर पे स्थापित हो, यही हमारी इच्छा है, यही हमारी प्रार्थना। श्री माता जी, आज ध्यान के दौरान अगर जाने अनजाने कोई त्रुटि रही हो, गलती हुई हो, तो मां कृपा करके क्षमा करें। अनंत कोटि प्रणाम मां, अनंत कोटि प्रणाम मां, अनंत कोटि प्रणाम मां। नेक्स्ट सेशन हमारा सैटरडे को होगा। जय श्री माता जी।